looking back at the LSU, at the Arkansas game, there's some really good parts. I thought that Bruce and Dom, that was encouraging. Both those guys the same night to play and get that production. I think 27 points, around 12 or 13 rebounds. The ball moved really well, kind of withstood a late run. And so yesterday we did a pocket of contact for about 10 or 12 minutes, went light for probably an hour and 15 minutes, and then go today to face a real talented Alabama team. Really good guards, best rebounder in our league, active front court that, really Kentucky beat Kentucky and go like 1 for 11 from the line in the second half. We had a great opportunity to win at Tennessee.
I was going to ask you about that Alabama and Tennessee the other day. When you looked at the film, what did Alabama do to stay in that game against a Tennessee team that a lot of people think is the national title contender?
And Tennessee is, and it just shows you how good Alabama play. I think that Tennessee kind of hit them early. And a lot of the teams, Tennessee has just kind of piled drive through, and Alabama just withstood a great run. Petty was unbelievable, had 30. I think he made 5 or 6 threes. Their team really guarded a high level. They matched Tennessee's physicality. Like I said, it wasn't for the free throw line, Alabama should have won the game.
Kermit, you've talked a lot about building a team to win on the road. What are the most necessary components when you're in the other team's gym to finish a game like that?
Yeah, talent's always the forefront, but the toughness part of it, be able to go through pockets of adversity. You've got to be able to rebound the ball on the road, got to be able to guard on the road. And the biggest thing I've seen in this league is the points off turnovers at home, but especially if you're going to try to be successful on the road. You start having live ball turnovers in front of other people's fan base, and they get cheap buckets, energy in the building, so take care of the ball is a maximum premium.
Are those things different than at the mid-major level?
It's all the same. It's all the same. It really is. It's just all the same. Now, when we were at Middle Tennessee for the last 5, 6, 7 years, for the majority of the time, we had about the best players in the gym. And now, obviously, the talent level is so good everywhere in this league. So many good players, and the fan bases are good. So the home court advantage. Although, we're talking about it yesterday. Teams have won on the road in our league. And I think it's the balance.
You mentioned Dom and Bruce. Gafford wasn't much of a factor on Saturday. Now, as you looked at the tape, what did you see defensively from them that was better than, I guess, in some other games?
Well, the biggest thing is we just limited him to 6 shots. So that was the best thing. He didn't get many attempts, didn't have any offensive rebounds. I just thought we were real active in our double teams. Our perimeter, we can get so much better because not only do you double team the post, the perimeter has really good responsibilities, and we had some breakdowns there that we tried to clean up yesterday. I think it was just our activity level, and the biggest thing was you don't let him get any cheap baskets in transition and keep him off the offensive boards.
Do you think that game was Bruce and Dom turning a corner towards what you want from them, or was that more of a matchup that they just played well?
Yeah, no, I just hope they just keep playing like that, and like I said, I thought both of them were different, but they both affected the game in such a big way, and to get that kind of production. And so, they both had really good moments, but that was their most complete game, and so we'll sure need it on Tuesday because Hall and that front line's very long, very athletic.
How much was Devontae able to give you yesterday? What do you expect from him today and tomorrow?
Yeah, he didn't practice yesterday. He was just on the bike. There's so many, there's a wide variety when you start talking about stress reactions and stress fractures. I mean, there's the slightest and there's the most severe. There's some places on the foot where you can play. There's some that you can't, So he's got it on a place on his foot that is the best for him to play. And he said he felt better on Saturday, and he said he's getting better. And so, I think that he's, he understands what he has to do. He's been very mature in his rehab. Today he'll come and practice, and then and we expect him to play tomorrow night.
If he continues to have, 10 minutes a game less or whatever it was on Saturday, what do you do to make sure TD and Brian kind of don't overextend themselves, try to do too much?
I think DC is a big factor. KJ Buffin playing the 3, is a factor. I just think this. At the end of the day, these guys are young and in the best possible shape of their life, so these NBA guys will play 115 games, you know, and so, you know, for these guys to play 30, 32 minutes a couple times a week, you know, with all the different things they're doing with their body and taking care of their body and all the things, I don't know. I think those guys will be just fine. The only thing is you just knock on wood. You just try to stay away from nicks and bruises.
Now that you've gotten to review the tape from Saturday, how did you think DC did in his biggest exposure yet?
Yeah, he did great. He guarded at a high level. He made some unbelievable 50-50 ball plays, dove on the floor. He finished a couple high-level plays. And, you know, we have a plus-minus system, and he had plus 21. He led our team. You know, even though TD had great numbers, when he was on the floor, he led us in plus-minus, which that shows he's doing all the little things.
The second tier of your bench, Kermit, Hallums, Naylor, Luis, anybody getting ready to turn a corner there?
Well, you know, I really had all intents and purposes wanted to play Scooter on Saturday, and just at that position it didn't. The reason Zach got an opportunity because KJ and Blake had those foul troubles at the 4 spot, and he's the one that plays the 4. Luis plays the 3, and you know, we're just. They both had good, all have had good attitudes. I told them yesterday, I said, guys, I get what you're going through. It's not easy. But the only thing I can tell you to hang your hat on is DC last year played in 5 games. He played in 5 games the whole year. So you just never know when your numbers call. You just got to be ready to go. But those guys' attitudes have all been really good in practice.
Was it just an off couple of games for Blake, or do you feel like he's kind of forcing a shot offensively?
You know, I don't know if it's off. I mean, yeah, but he hadn't shot it as well. Obviously, you know, some of those similar shots he made at Mississippi State. You know, he hadn't made the last couple games. You know, and like you've heard me say it. I mean, Blake, you know, when you don't, you know, make 4 or 5 threes, how can you affect the game? And they did get 4 rebounds, which was an improvement. He's got to get better there. I think he did try to guard better. So. But I have no doubt about he never loses confidence. I mean, he's got great bravado that he's going to try to keep shooting balls, keep shooting the right shots, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has a really good game tomorrow night.
With a guy like that who does play off of such confidence, what do you do to kind of make sure that confidence doesn't roll over into him just taking bad shots?
Yeah, and that can happen to young players. It can happen to a lot of different players, especially when you're struggling. You're trying to, and TD can do that sometimes, just to try to get going. Then you start shooting bad shots. And you're right, he's got to start shot faking, driving the ball more, shooting step-in threes. And the biggest thing is just in practice and during the games. I mean, talking about, you know, making shots, good shots, the ones that we've worked on every day.
Going back to Dom and Bruce, it's so hard to not notice that Bruce is probably Dom's biggest fan and vice versa.
Yep.
What's their competition level like that, you know, allows for them to be each other's biggest fans?
Yeah, that's a great tribute to both guys. I mean, I saw where Dom, you know, when Bruce would come off the floor in the second half, Dom was the happiest guy on the bench for Bruce and vice versa. And they battle each other every day because they're guarding each other every day. We have, you know, in the last couple of weeks, started looking at maybe even putting them in the game at the same time. I know that happened last year. My biggest concern is just on the defensive end, but there may be some times in the next, you know, 7 or 8 weeks of the season that both those guys will be on the floor.
You know, we've got you here, and they're not looking past Alabama, but a big opportunity on Saturday with the SEC Big 12 Challenge. What does that mean to your program in the league?
Yeah, I think it's a very prideful thing in the league. And you can tell in league meetings the Big 12 SEC Challenge is something that they take very seriously. I mean, they want to win. And, you know, we play an unbelievable team in Iowa State. I've known Steve for a long time. We played his teams when I was at Middle. He was at Murray State. He's got an excellent team, has a chance to win the Big 12. You know, it's an ESPN game, you know, powder blue game, you know, and hopefully that will kind of have those uniforms out for the second time. And I think we'll have a fantastic atmosphere here Saturday.
Anything else?